What potential impact does collision project programming have on the confidence and future trajectory of youth in the Georgia Department of Juvenile Justice? An undergraduate research project by Issa Solís. The Metro Collision Project is a collaboration with Kennesaw State University, the Alliance Theater, and the Georgia Department of Juvenile Justice. It started in summer 2019 and will continue as a class in spring 2022. Why the Department of Juvenile Justice? Justice-involved young adults in the United States often have a history of trauma, abuse, and other forms of polyvictimization. Researchers have found a strong link between incarceration and past trauma, which is why we have decided to start the Metro Collision Project. Trauma often leads to distrust, so our work this summer focused on building a safe place for participants to grow their trust in us, their peers, and themselves. Our methodology, which we call the collision model, was created through the Pulevsky Collision Project, which started in 2001 via the Alliance Theater. I am an alumnus of the 2017 project. It is a 3-week summer experience in which 20 teenagers collide with iconic source material ranging from the United States Declaration of Independence, Romeo and Juliet, or even Marvin Gaye's album What's Going On. They also participate in workshops which are led by Atlanta artists in order to build the ensemble and to inspire the final performance. As described by the project's award-winning playwright Pearl Clegg, the show is a quilt that she has sewn from the many poems, songs, original choreography, and other original student material. She makes a point to say that she didn't write any of it because the audience usually has a hard time imagining that a show like Collision was all created by 20 Metro Atlanta teenagers. In the Metro Collision Project, KSU students and faculty from the Department of Theater and Performance Studies, in addition to Atlanta theater artists, bring the collision model to students in the system in the form of a digital storytelling workshop. Throughout the workshop timeline, KSU students, faculty facilitators, and local Atlanta artists serve as the leaders for the collision between the participant and the source material. This past summer, our source material was The Hill We Climb by Amanda Gorman. The rich imagery and beautiful poetry were presented to the participants as material they could discuss openly to share their interpretations and opinions. For example, what do you think about when Amanda Gorman says, "We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms of what just isn't always justice." Or what about when she says, "We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl, descended from slaves and raised by a single mother, can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one." Just like the Pulevsky Collision Project, we offered students in the system a voice, and through our research, we've discovered that this project could have significant effects on the students' emotional well-being, self-esteem, and most importantly, the confidence to speak for who they are and what they believe. For the participants' privacy, I won't share their names or their stories, so this ethnographic research comes from my reflections on the project as a KSU student leader. My experience in the Metro Collision Project started with a week of workshops with our faculty facilitators and Atlanta artists who taught us how to interact with the young adults, taking into account the protocols of the Georgia Department of Juvenile Justice and also the sorts of topics and actions that we should approach with sensitivity. This workshop period was my first introduction to the concept of justice involvement as an effect of trauma. Before entering this project, I knew I wanted to participate in the project somehow, but my own internal biases and prejudices made me feel anxious and afraid. After learning this, I started to break down my biases, which helped me to feel confident in being a contributor to the project. Other workshops we had included topics like Digital Storytelling 101 and devised Writing, Songwriting, and Movement. This all helped with the creative elements that we would explore with the participants. My personal interaction with the participants in the Metro Collision Project were life-changing. I enjoyed putting my theater knowledge to work with the high school students because it's an age group still rather close to my own, which leads to more of the reliability that creates a safe space. I loved the devising of the project in particular. For example, I helped the participants brainstorm their stories and then tie them together on a digital medium with photos, videos, and audio. It was also an eye-opening experience. All of the stories in the participant ensemble I worked with had an air of hope. For varying personal reasons, participants spoke about feeling that they had grown into their ideal selves. There were also tender moments. Some people shared times that were hard for them, but even then they often followed it with how they would get through the situation with their newfound strength. In addition, all of the participants had different goals for their future. This is a detail that is often overlooked by the justice system's streamlined approach to rehabilitation. Through the Metro Collision Project, we aim to give justice-involved youth a safe space to speak what they want to be heard. I saw that the participants all had something to say about what's important to them and who they wanted to be. They all still had an ember of hope that must be nurtured. William Cleveland's Art in Other Places just scratches the surface of other similar projects all over the country that are focused on artistic expression. Incarcerated individuals who can maintain family relationships are 7 times less likely to be rearrested after being released. Knowing this, John Bergman started a national prison Goose theater project, which uses theater to offer incarcerated adults the opportunity to step into someone else's shoes to practice healthy conflict resolution. A prison creative writing program in the Texas Department of Corrections, led by Grady Hillman, discovered the importance of poetry in maintaining relationships. At the time, Texas facilities had stringent visiting guidelines which prevented residents from contacting their loved ones in any way exceeding a letter or a phone call, so instead of kissing and hugging their loved ones, they wrote them poems. Hillman helped these incarcerated poets to develop their craft, which aided them in maintaining their relationships, which resulted in a lower chance of re-entering the system. That's not all. Hillman discovered that writing is a way that incarcerated individuals protest institutionalization and keep their emotions alive. With the monotony of prison life, they can lose their memory and imagination. Writing, in this case, protects the humanity, individuality, and mind of incarcerated people. Approximately 60,000 youth currently reside in juvenile justice centers in this country, with hundreds of thousands more on probation. The time that youth spends in confinement has a significant and often negative impact on their development. Over 2/3 of youth leaving custody do not return to school, and many struggle finding jobs given their justice system involvement. Additionally, over half of the youth in the juvenile justice system suffer from mental health and/or substance use disorders, and that number rises to 63.7% for youth committed to secure facilities. If these issues are not addressed upon entry to the justice system, it increases the likelihood for recidivism, which is defined as reinvolvement in the justice system after leaving confinement. This project was founded and continues because we believe that we owe younger generations a chance at confidence, a chance to speak or even perform in front of people, a chance at a new life. We hope that our efforts will lead to positive effects similar to those in past art programs in United States justice facilities. Through the creation of a safe space, we aim to validate the voices and dreams of justice-involved youth. Our expectations for the future of the Metro Collision Project is that it will result in an independent group of young people ready to re-enter society and live their lives outside. Thank you.